See you later. I need to be nice to that guy. Go on, start.
Right. How's the training gone?
This week?
Yeah, this week.
Difficult. Really difficult because I think after my 2, I had nothing to lose. So I gave it my best shot, went out there. Even before last week's show, I forgot, 2 minutes before we went out, we had an argument because I forgot, my mind went blank. I said, I don't know it, I've lost everything.
Robbie came up to me and said, I forgot everything.
2 minutes before
and
we
I
went
said,
out.
what do you mean you forgot everything? No, I forgot everything. Everything. What comes after 1, 2, 3, 4? I can't remember anything. So then obviously he freaked me out and I was going, oh my God, what is he going to do on the floor? But then he came out and it is, with dancing is muscle memory. So you go out there, you almost like, you know, you've been doing it for the whole week.
Incredible feeling.
It gets you back, even though you think you forgot about it.
I literally went on the dance floor, I'm standing with the umbrella and I literally forgot what I was doing. And then I started doing it and it just come back.
God,
your body just know where it went.
Yeah.
Swear.
So you freaked me out. I was so
So
nervous.
this week's routine is harder for me. I think it's not as, I don't believe it's as good as last week for the way I'm doing it. Last week it was just a one-off.
I think you're also suited the foxtrot as well, very much, don't you think? And I think maybe we're doing tango this week, maybe not as suited for Robbie as he was
There's a lot of spin.
foxtrot.
A lot of spin.
He gets really dizzy, he
I
can't
can't
do
spin.
one spin.
Can't.
Oh no, I'm not joking.
I can't
He
spin.
can't
This is
go
a
on
slight
roller
disadvantage,
coaster
isn't it?
or-
Yeah, I can't spin.
He can't spin, yeah, and it's a big problem in dancing, he can't spin.
So what happens when you spin?
I just feel
He feels
My
sick.
eyes take about 2 seconds.
He's almost throwing up on the side. He feels really sick. He's
Right.
got to stop for
Stop.
like 5-10 seconds just to get back. Amazing, I've never seen anyone like that before. So
But then are there some dances where you have to spin
You've
as
got
part
to
of the dance? So
roll.
what
Yeah,
will you do? What will you do
roll.
for that? So what will happen then?
well, he just got to have to learn.
Can't.
He's got to learn how to deal with it, I think. Because even in this routine, I said, okay, we'll make it simpler. And he said, no, I don't want you to make it simpler, I'm going to do it. And you're doing it. Some of the bits are quite tricky,
Yeah.
which you're finding tricky because it's moving around. But I
But
think,
this week's been hard. Yeah, I dislocated my thumb tonight. I had
yes.
to put that back in myself.
This week?
Yeah.
How did you do that?
There's a hole at the end, all it comes in and I grabbed it wrong and my thumb went out and I had to put it back in. So I also fell off a chair on my back, which all didn't save me from falling. Broken nail, which I was gutted about.
Broken nail.
You're laughing. You did
Yeah, I'm
break a nail
laughing,
and you
yeah.
made a big point of that. That you broke a nail.
Had you just had them done? No.
No, look at it. Come on. Look at it. Let me wash your hands.
But this week I had my kids in this week. They come as surprises, which is nice. Because I think me and Chelsea are a slight disadvantage, you know, little young Chelsea, because we're the only ones who live away. You know, all have come up to Manchester, but I know it's like being in a hotel on your own, so for Ola to come up there, and it was our anniversary this week on Wednesday, so I try and split the week half and half, so she can be with you, because it's not nice for Ola to be in a hotel on her own in Manchester, so we do a Monday to Wednesday in Manchester, and I come down to London for the, because it's not only fair, because I know it's like in a hotel, so I miss my kids massively.
How's your wife finding it?
Yeah, she's been great, to be fair, you know, she's been out for dinner with us, and she's always been around the house.
She's very supportive, which is great.
But it's just my kids, you know, miss them play football.
Children miss you a lot, don't they?
Yeah, they miss me massively.
Yeah.
They said to me in the VT that they said, when did they? They said, where are you going, Daddy? He said, London. They went, no, not again.
Yeah, they were really sweet. They were going, oh no, you're going again.
That's
What's
right.
Why'd you have
Well,
to
I love it. I
go
want to stay
away?
in.
Yeah.
My little boy on the VT, my little 5-year-old's dancing on it this week. So he's done a little dance. It's so funny.
But what are they saying about your dancing? What do they rate you?
They love it. Yeah, they love it.
So how surprised have you been by the schedule? I mean, obviously as a professional footballer you have to train, but
Yeah, it is the hardest thing I've done in my life.
Yeah.
No question. You know, as a footballer, it's an hour a day training, and then you take over your games. This is 8 hours every day. You know, they say minimum 12 hours a week, but if you do that, you got no chance. It's 12 hours. It's not. This isn't a dance show. I can't explain. It's not a dance show. It's your life. For when you're in it, it's your life. Nothing else matters
It takes over your
over
life.
your life. It is, like.
Mhm.
You wake up, you go to bed, you dance.
You go to bed thinking about your steps and things, and you wake up and
Yeah,
the first you think is,
right.
oh, what am I going to learn again today? And
I just can't believe from Monday, I watched Ola do the choreography and do the routine, and I think, no chance, never going to do that. And I picked it up on the same day. We'd done the dance the first day, I was doing it, not very good, but I had the steps. And
but you're gonna learn how to pick up steps quicker. Like the first routine takes forever to learn. You feel it takes forever to learn, but every week you're gonna get better at picking up steps.
And how will you overcome this fear that you might have another moment where you get to start the dance and it just goes? Do you think this is?
I think
was a
me and
one-off?
Alex, James's part and Alex, I think me and her are the most, we're petrified. We are, literally, my hands are soaking wet.
He is very nervous.
Seriously, my
very
heart.
nervous. I would even say to the point that as soon as the live show starts and we're just about to go up to the stairs, Robbie's gone.
I'm nervous walking down the stairs at the beginning.
It's not the same person because he's very chatty, very nice and everything, and as soon as the live show starts,
I'm gone.
he's just gone. He's
Pale.
It's not, yeah.
Unbelievable, he's
Yeah.
pale, isn't it?
So, I mean, what do you do to kind of? Is there anything that you can do to help with that? Like,
I'll deal with it.
Deal with it.
It is
No,
honest
he's
to
dealing
God.
with it. He's dealing with
Yeah.
it.
Unless you've done the
He's
show,
doing
you'll
great.
never ever experience
You would never
that.
experience that. Listen, we get nervous and we're professional dancers and we get nervous. Obviously, we don't want to show it to
Yeah.
them, but you know, we get nervous because we want it for them.
The analogy I
Yeah.
say is imagine, this is where I look at it, imagine going to the biggest nightclub in the world, yeah, and everybody's well dressed around it. Everybody's sober, and you go into the dance floor and dance on your own. Can you imagine that? Yeah, that's what it's like. You imagine that, sober. I think for every man out there, dancing sober is bad. Dancing sober in front of 10 million people.
How do you two get on?
Very well.
Yeah. How do you sort of? You said you had a bit of an argument before you went on last week. I mean, is she
No,
tough?
it's bickering.
Bickering, right?
It's not really. We don't argue at all, do
No.
we? We just.
No, because she's the boss, you know.
Yeah.
She is, whatever she say, I do. Because
We
she knows
both-
better.
Very passionate about what we do. So Robbie wants to do well. I want him to do well. So no, we don't argue. We just bicker.
Has she been a good teacher, Robbie, would you
Very.
say?
Yeah, she's very. I played against Gerard, Keane, you know, some tough midfielders, but she's tougher than them all. I'm afraid. To be fair, it's hard because as a dancer, as someone who dances,
I like that.
basically you get criticised all the time. You do a good dance, but there's something wrong because she wants to make it perfect. So I think I've done well. She said your arms are wrong. And then you can knock you down, to be fair. And if you're a weak character, you'll crumble. Because you do a good one, but there's something wrong with it. Because she wants it to be perfect. Even up tomorrow night, I'll be wrong because my arm drops or this drops. But it is a tough, if you're weak, you'll get annihilated.
So
You've got to
are
be
you
a tough
sensitive? And the first week you looked quite sensitive to criticism. You were
I was devastated. Honestly, you asked her after the show, my mum went back to the hotel, you know, there's reports that I was in a walkout, that wasn't true. I was saying about Craig, how dare he give me a 2. No, the 2 was right. I mean, Craig's a judge.
I think he was just gutted that we spent 3 weeks every day, long hours a day, training, and I think that's where he was disappointed because he's putting the hours in, he's putting the hard work in, he wants to do well, he doesn't sit around. I think that's why he was disappointed that he didn't actually.
I was devastated.
But then the second week, I think he proved to himself that he can dance. And
Maybe I was a little bit over Mark. See,
you weren't over Mark. That was brilliant dance. Don't say that. That annoys me. Don't say that.
because when I see Jason and Harry and Holly,
Yeah, but you were just as good
dancing
as Jason
like
and
that.
Harry.
because they've got musical, they've got backgrounds in this. Do you know what I mean? Most of them have backgrounds in a musical theatre and singing. I've nothing. So I'm basically from scratch. I can't count music. We had a rally the other day, and I was doing it. It said count the music. Well, I don't know how to count the music. So if I count the music in my head, I don't know what I'm doing with my feet. I mean, you have to count. I can't. It's impossible.
But you were learning this week. You did.
Yeah,
Bit
for the
more.
first 8.
Yeah, well, yeah, but you're learning. You're improving, eh? By
So
the
how do
final
you-
would be
I mean,
perfect.
How do you sort of reconcile yourself now as a dancer with, you know, what you were like as a footballer? You must.
Well,
They must be completely different people in your own head.
Well, yeah, the footballer was a show, wasn't it? It's an entertainment show. I felt as a footballer.
A lot of people say this is the show. Not
No, this is
Something much more serious.
This is more serious than football.
because football was my comfort zone. This is completely and utterly something I never thought I'd do. I don't dance. I've never danced in nightclubs. Drunk. If I'm drunk, I don't dance. So I'm dancing sober. And you might, why have I done it? Well, I've just done it for a challenge. I like a challenge. Because Ola says he works hard. And throughout my football career, I worked hard, but didn't have much ability. I'm honest. I didn't have the most natural, gifted ability. For me to achieve what I achieved, I had to work as hard as I could every single day. You know, people would train to training, and they might have had a night out, or they could just come and play and be great. I couldn't. I worked hard. And the same with this. I'm not natural. Can't dance, but I can perform, hopefully. Because I think in this show, you either have to be good or crap. If you're okay, I think you get lost.
How do you get on with all the other contestants?
Brilliantly well.
Is there any sort of backstage banter?
Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
Backstage banter.
Oh, banter,
Yeah. Like last week, people saying, "Were you going to walk out there and call me a baby?" You know? Yeah. Jason, saying, obviously one of the papers, but that is just pure banter. So I think you have to take the banter. If Jason Donovan wins this competition, I'll honestly say that he deserves to win it, because we all know what each other has to go through to win it. It's hard, seriously hard work. And Russell Grant, 60 years old, performing like he is. Harry, Harry's great. They're all fantastic people.
I mean, you and Russell seem to be getting on very well. He was.
Yeah,
his first comment when he came up last week was about you.
I'm going. It's his father's 84th birthday tonight, and I'm going straight from here to his father's house for dinner. Yeah, so it's by Heathrow, I think. So I'm going there straight after here for dinner with his father. But it's not a show. It's not a dance show. It is. If you get voted out, Edwina. This is what I was surprised about last week. Everybody's seen Edwina, and to go out first is the worst thing, because it is, especially when you're not in the bottom two. So obviously the public voted Edwina out, and she comes across this hard lady, but on It Takes Two she came over to me and she burst out crying. On my shoulder, it's like Edwina on my shoulder crying. She's come to me. Do you know what I mean? So I must be doing something right.
Have you shed a tear yet? Like not like the first week when you.
No.
Have you?
No.
Have I cried?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you
Yeah, I
really
did after
like?
the first
Oh,
night.
yeah.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I was
Did
devastated. Yeah, I don't mind. I was devastated. When I got back to the hotel.
Yeah.
My mum burst out crying to my father, because that weekend show, it was my father's first week in a home.
Oh.
So my mother's, she's obviously looked after my father for Alzheimer's. So that week of the show, the first dance when I got the two, my mother was here, my father was in the home for the first week of his life. So that was even more so when we got back to the hotel, I was crying. Because I had two, I was gutted, I was really devastated.
You sound like you're a really family
Yeah.
motivated person.
Very much.
My mum and dad,
Yeah.
my father is.
Robbie seems very close to his mum and dad.
I'm
Does
giving
your father have any-
some strictly to Alzheimer's. No, so it's not doing it for money. Do you know what I mean? I'm just doing it because of mum, really, because she was
Mum loves the show.
loves the show, and she's got people with Alzheimer's. It's the people around them. My mother has, in a way, she's losing my father, but she's losing her own life. Because she just cares for him. So that first week when I got the two was her first week away from my father since they got married.
God, does he have any sense that you're in the show? I mean,
Not
has he
really,
got, no.
64 years old.
Has it, obviously you're away a lot, has it put a strain on your marriage?
No, she's
No?
supportive.
I'm sure she is, but it must be difficult having that amount of time away from...
Of course, it's like, yeah, of course. And that's why, it would put a lot of strain on Ola's marriage too if she's away over in Manchester. That's why I'm fair. I think there's a few people at the beginning who openly admitted that they didn't want to go to Manchester, to a few of the dancers, because they didn't want to be away from their husbands, or partners, or girlfriends, or boyfriends, obviously. So I just think it's fair that you split the time with your partner because
Do you show off your dance moves to your wife when you get home with an evening?
she's worse than me dancing. She's
Can't be worse.
She's got-
I'm joking. It's a joke.
Got a lot of jokes there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do they come down to watch? Do you
My
know they
mum,
come down
see,
to
we're
watch?
going to get 2 tickets per show,
Oh yeah.
so I've got to try and get to the final so everybody can come and see it. My mother come to first, my mother with my wife, and last was my brother. This week he's like my brother, he's my first cousin, but he's like my brother. He was in the army, so he's just come from Iraq and Afghanistan, so he's coming tomorrow. He lived with me for 15 years, because his father does, long story, but he lived with me, so he's like my brother really, so he's coming tomorrow. You haven't got enough tickets to go around. But you find out, well, people from years ago we haven't met, what tickets for Strictly?
So you're going to have to stay in really to kind of make sure everyone sees you.
Yeah. And the big one is that Robbie's promised to come if he's,
Yeah, I saw it in the paper today.
yeah, he's going to come. He's over next month. And so I've got to stay this week and come.
Yeah.
How long have you been friends with him?
Pardon?
How long have you been friends with Robbie?
About 5 years. He's, I send my training videos to him. And he watches them from me and gives me a few tips. That's just a surreal world. It's like, it's just a mad world. Like,
What sort of tips has he come up with?
Well, just about your posture and just go out and give it your best shot, entertain them.
Yeah.
So do you think you'll be able to get to the point where you can completely relax into the dance?
No.
No.
No. Impossible. As I say, imagine if you do it.
No.
It's honest to God, the feeling when they come dancing the foxtrot, and you know the music's coming, and you don't know.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's
Do
coming.
you think it would help to have a drink before you went out?
Whiskey
or something? I don't know.
There's champagne backstage. You know?
Calm
It
your
is.
nerves and stuff now?
Even then, no.
Yeah.
How have you noticed a change in the way people react to you?
Massively.
Yeah.
Like I've been on Lorraine, Loose Women, and the people in the gym.
Women love him now in the gym.
No, it's
All
just
the women love
different.
him.
Even I think
They do. They love you.
I think for me in the show, football fans, before really football fans wouldn't watch it, but now thousands of people on Twitter.
I think it's just different audience
Well,
altogether, isn't
Yeah, but
it?
football fans going on now and saying I can't believe I'm watching Strictly because of Robbie. So I think even football fans are watching it now because I'm in it, and I was supposed to. I wasn't ever a hard man. I was just trying to win games through whatever means really, and people didn't like me for that. But now the football fans are watching the show with their wives, which is.
I thought it was funny on Twitter. Sometimes you're retweeting people who early on were being a bit abusive.
Well, somebody just
to
put
be
on
frank.
Twitter today, die. Just one word, die.
But how does that make you feel?
Well, just one word, die. So I retweeted that. No thanks.
But why do you retweet it? Why don't you just ignore it? Why do you
Because
just...
you can't. I get that many people who just say nasty things. I see the one about Jack Wilson in the paper. You know, people
Okay,
just. I get 100 of them a day. 100 of them a day.
It's 100
Hundred
abusive
more,
tweets.
more. I could put my phone out and I'd have 500 mentions and 250 would be hatred.
Is that less since you've been on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but die. Just one word, die.
Do you think that you've managed to change the public's perception of you? Because you used to be seen as quite argumentative. Do you think that they've seen a different side of you?
Well, this is me normally.
Yeah.
You know, you put on you when you work 606. I'm passionate what I talk about, but
But the funny thing is, he's not argumentative. That's the
all.
thing. People see him as, you know, coming back if it comes to sport and what he does. But if he's in training room, because that's when I
He
when I
shouts at me
met.
once, didn't he?
I've raised my voice once, and he went to me. Please don't shout at me. That is so sweet. Actually, I'm gonna raise my voice again because he was really sweet
What
about
were you raising
it.
your voice about?
Just 1, 2, I would shout something. Come on, keep your arms up or something. I shouted, and he was like, "Please don't shout at me." And I was like, "Oh, that's
I'm a
so
completely
sweet."
different person.
He's actually
Massively different.
very different than
So sorry, is that
think he is.
happened because of Strictly, or you think
No,
that person was waiting to do Strictly?
So I've always been quiet.
You've been sensitive,
Always,
caring.
always have been. Never.
Yeah.
You've seen me on the pitch and you've seen me listen to me.
I
on
looked at the
6 or 7.
photos again this week. I mean, you are a completely different person.
Massively different. Just quiet. I just don't like, if I'm in a restaurant and the chips come in cold or the wine's cold, I won't send it back. I'll eat them because I don't like confrontation. Even to the point where when the bill comes, I'll make my wife pay on our card because if the pin's wrong, I get flustered. You mean if it's declined? I'm not
Wow,
bad.
that's all cheeky.
I am. I'm not bad. It's not a show. It's not an act. That's how I am.
So you've created you're after your football career, you're now a bit of a pundit on football. You're doing really
Yeah.
well doing that. Which Strictly Judge would you say you're more like as a pundit?
You'd have to say Craig, wouldn't you? I think.
Definitely.
Yeah, I quite like you as a pundit because I think you're outspoken. I think you speak.
I think we're a
The
mixture.
truth.
I think
Yeah.
we're a mixture of them all, really. Because Len's comments last week was brilliant. He got really excited. Bruno's fantastic. The way he's passionate about it, and Craig just basically says how it is. Do you know what I mean? So, Craig's a lovely guy.
Yeah. How are you getting on with Bruce? Sir Bruce.
Right, my Saturdays have completely changed, unbelievably. So, I'm standing next to Sir Bruce, sitting next to Holly Valance, who was like neighbours, used to watch it, dancing with Jason or Harry Judd, it's incredible. I got Robbie Williams said like 10 minutes to dance. What's happening?
Tell us about the grooming. Have you always? I mean, these are highlights. I take
don't
it.
start that.
Have you always been interested in your own grooming? I mean,
No,
it's
every man should be. Why shouldn't he?
yeah,
Why?
a lot.
Why
Don't
should men
particularly
be
care
interested?
about it, do they?
Yeah, but I think it's nice, I think it's cool. You should look after yourself.
So
I mean, do you spend a lot of money on grooming?
No,
Is it-
nothing. Nothing. Just the odd highlight and the teeth and the tan.
The usual. Yeah.
No, but honestly, I'll tell you, I am the take the least time to get ready out of all the men.
Who takes the longest?
I don't know really. The men don't take that long, do they? I'm the least. I don't do my hair. I do my hair myself. So all the hair, I do my hair myself.
have you quite enjoyed wearing these kind of flamboyant glittery
I love
costumes?
it because why not? You do this once.
Yeah, yeah,
If
yeah.
you're not doing it, if you're gonna do it properly.
Do it properly,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
But I actually absolutely. Last Saturday was one of the best. It's changed me last Saturday in person. That dance, and that's my life. Changed my life because I know. Because I was that insecure and that nervous and that a worried person, thinking. I always put myself down to think I'll never get 29, 30 as if I'm ever as good as them. So to get them marks and do the routine, and then people saying it was brilliant. It was like, because when I walk in the street usually I get Robbie Savage, you're a wanker, basically. But people come punch you in the head, people spit at you. I've had all my life.
Is that well,
Yeah,
but not recently? People have come up. punch you
yeah.
in the
That
head.
was 6 weeks ago at United. A guy had a little boy with me. He come out the crowd and punched me in the back of the head.
Do you report them when they do things like
Yeah,
this?
it's been in the papers. Yeah. When I played for Birmingham, a guy spit in my face. I had my house. I've had it all. Death threats, everything. But now people are actually nice. Coming up to you in the streets and we love you on Strictly. It's so nice. I've never had it before.
So how will you be different coming out, like onto the set tomorrow?
I'll still be a bag of nerves. You'll see it. You'll see it in my face. I could have the darkest spray tan. So if I stay here, I'll be looking like Geordie Marsh, I think.
You mentioned the people who you've been getting on really well with, but you also said that Dan Lobb is a bit of a diva. Would you say he's
No,
a
I didn't
competition?
say it was taken the wrong way. It was tongue in cheek. Dan Lobb is a lovely guy. He is, he's up at 3 a.m. He works exceptionally hard, and he's not a diva. He's not a diva. It was the wrong wording. I'd say Dan is. I think he just wants to do so well and everything be right.
Is he very competitive?
I think everybody is competitive. There's obviously. I think Jason's very competitive, because I think the pressure's more on Jason, Harry, Holly, the musical theatre people, because people expect them to be good, and that's why they're probably, really intense. But I just take it thinking, well, if you mess up, you may as well mess up proper.
Yeah.
No point messing up a little bit. You may as well fall over. Look at Nancy.
I think it's Nancy, yeah.
look.
They discovered that.
Look at Nancy.
Oh.
You may as well be like Nancy or like Jason. If you're in the middle, you forget about it.
How do you find Nancy? How do you get on?
Brilliant. She is
Yeah.
so funny. It's a legend.
She's funny. Very funny.
Is it true that she actually rehearses with her sunglasses on?
She did in the first bit, yeah. Like, I was watching It Takes Two and I laughed and I don't usually laugh out loud.
Yeah.
And with Anton, she said, the final, you all go on a bus to Blackpool, and she said, does this bus have first class? She's brilliant, honestly.
No, she's very funny actually.
Has she been buying everyone champagne afterwards to sort of celebrate as well? Is she a big fan of her champagne?
Don't know.
Yeah, but she hasn't bought you any champagne then.
No, but she's, honestly, I've got to say it, she's lovely. She is so
She's very funny.
very funny. And
Very funny.
the trick is not to watch her dance when you're in front of you. That's the trick.
See what? Not to watch her.
We do it when in the group dance. She's in front of
There's
us.
there's a bit of a group dance
And
this
she's-
week,
the timing's
and
not
she's
quite
in
on.
front of
Oh, right.
If he looks at her, he's
If I look
going,
at her, I go
wow.
completely wrong as well.
Right.
He must block what's in front
Right,
of
that's
him.
my eye shut.
Guys, just last questions.
So what would you do after this? Would you carry on with the punditry? Would you, do you want a sort of full show business
No,
career?
no, I've been offered a panto part already.
As what?
Do it.
The genie in Aladdin.
Yeah.
Do it.
Um,
I'm gonna come and watch.
but I'm not doing this show for no other reason than to donate my money to Alzheimer's and for money. And that's it.
So how much money will you be donating?
Well, I can't say.
Oh.
You'd obviously got, wouldn't you then?
Oh
It'll be 5 figures.
Really?
Yeah.
But would you donate all of your fee?
Well, I'll split it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to keep some to cover my costs.
Cool.
Of train fares.
We'll let you have a bit, yeah.
So that's the only reason. I'm not doing it to get anything out of it because I've got my contracts everywhere. I've got 2-year contracts with Mary William Hill, ESPN, BBC. So I've got everything I need. I got my own show for 2 years, 606 and another year. So I'm not doing it for no other reason than just to have fun with my mum and dad, really.
Jason was saying when he was in that his kids the next day went to school with their heads like held high, being really proud that their dad was, had done really well. Did your kids get that?
My kids, you'll see on the VTs when you watch the show tomorrow, they are so shy. They're mini me's. You see them, they're blonde hair, they've got their little school uniforms on.
How old are they?
8 and 5. They are. It's different because the Freddie doesn't really know the 5-year-old, but Charlie does. Charlie's very like me, so shy, and you speak to them, you can't speak to them, they go red. But they're proud, of course they're proud. But they've had it. I think with the celebrities, I don't like the word celebrity, but with the people that the famous, or wherever they are, the celebrities in this year, your kids are going to have that lifestyle anyway. They've seen their dad perform, haven't they? Do you know what I mean? So Jason's kids would have seen him perform in plays. My kids will see me on the telly doing TV or playing football. So it's the same life for them, isn't it? It doesn't change really, does it?
It's being talked about more though. I think it's obviously because it's doing so well and because it is so popular.
Yeah.
People are coming up to
Yeah, it's like it's the people in the playground.
So the kids aren't getting any of this abuse that you get, are they?
No. I don't know.
Quick question for Ola. You recently posted a picture of you on Twitter holding a baby. I don't know whose baby it was.
It wasn't mine, don't worry.
It was a friend's.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know if you were
Yes.
planning on having babies anytime soon.
Not yet.
But you do want them in the future?
Yes, I would love to. I'm practicing.
Not for me, though.
And on that note, that's man.
No, definitely not me.
No.
Don't have her to bed.
Yeah.
Well, not all of to bed, but that's definitely not me. Not practicing me. Let me get that straight now.
Brilliant.
Thanks very much, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
That was great.
You guys stay here.